Welcome back everyone into the Sweet Studio. Joshua Grove here. Today we are going to be breaking down a very old, very challenging traditional sequence. That sequence is called Around Tunbridge Wells.
Push the hands up, the hands up, the hands up, the hands up.
This trick has been around for quite some time and it became a little bit more popularized back in around like 2013 or so, where everyone was really challenging themselves to see if they could make it through this long sequence. So we're gonna break this sequence up into parts so that you can learn it, and then it's about just piecing those parts together for the entirety of the exercise. Let's jump into it. Around Tunbridge Wells is 57 moves, so we're gonna break this thing down, starting with the first sequence. The first sequence is focused on the big cup as the home cup, essentially, and we're gonna do all of the permutations of the cups, starting with big cup. For example, going to big cup is number one, then we're gonna go to small cup, and then we're gonna come back to big cup, go over to base cup, come back to big cup, go over to penguin, and then come back to big cup, finishing it with the spike, and finally, the earth turn. That is sequence one, or the big cup sequence. Now we're gonna do the same thing with small cup, base cup, and penguin, and then there's two extra sequences at the end. So small cup sequence, same thing. Small cup to big cup, small cup to base cup, small cup to penguin, and then small cup to spike, and earth turn. Now that's the most challenging part about this trick, is you're probably gonna miss the small things, and that's what makes this trick so challenging. Next is the base cup. We have base cup to big cup, base cup to small cup, base cup to penguin, and base cup to spike with that earth turn. And finally we have penguin to big cup, penguin to small cup, penguin to base cup, and penguin to spike with that earth turn. And there you have the first four sequences of Around Tunbridge. It is not over yet. We have Around Europe and Around USA, including the penguin catch in both of those tricks. So once you do all four of those sequences in a row without stopping back to back, then you go into this section Around Europe. Big to spike, small to spike, base to spike, penguin to spike, and we finish it with an earth turn always. Remember that part. After that earth turn, then we go into Around USA. Big cup spike, earth turn, small cup spike, earth turn, base cup spike, earth turn, and penguin spike, earth turn. This is the ultimate consistency trick. If you can start practicing this trick, learning each sequence by itself, and then starting to build them on top of each other, this trick is gonna create such a strong foundation for your consistency, it's insane. It may seem daunting at first with all of the sequences, it's 57 different moves, but learn each sequence by themselves, then put big cup and small cup sequence together, try big cup, small cup, base cup together, and then you can slowly build up to the entire sequence. If you notice when I was doing this trick, I was keeping the tama in a certain position nearly the entire time. I haven't talked about this yet, but just a simple note to help you on learning this trick. I try to keep the hole facing me almost the entire time. You can notice when I'm moving in the big cup sequence here, I'm really focusing on using my knees nice and consistently, keeping the hole facing me. Same thing when I go into all of the other sequences. I'm trying to do this so that the string is facing away from me. The string is gonna be the most challenging part about this trick for you to navigate. And if you can keep that hole facing you the entire time, it's gonna be a little bit easier. But as you can see, string is inevitably gonna get tangled. So the more you're slowing it down, take your time, breathe between each sequence, the better chance you're gonna have about finishing the entire thing. So we've broken down Tunbridge into all of its pieces. Now I'm gonna put it together into one long exercise for you to see in its entirety. Starting with the big cup sequence. Again, focusing on slow and steady, keeping that string nice and controlled. Big part of this exercise is also breathing, keeping that breath moving. Finishing up the small cup sequence here, moving into the base cup sequence. Just wanna focus on keeping my knees nice and loose. Keeping that focus going, moving into the penguin sequence. Really trying to follow it all the way through. Now into the last two sections, we have Around Europe. And finally, Around USA. And there you have it, 57 moves all put together for one cardio exercise. My heart rate is definitely more increased right now. This exercise is one of my favorite exercises preparing for competitions, to get warmed up, to help my consistency level and performing under pressure. Because if you do this, you'll start to notice once you get to the end of the exercise, it gets a little bit more intense. You just wanna finish it, and then your mind gets taken out of the present of playing the kendama, and then we miss. So make sure you just follow your thoughts all the way through the exercise, focusing on what you're doing. Once you land that last earth turn, then you can relax. One last note on this trick, if you wanna challenge yourself even more, you can do this with variation. So instead of doing an earth turn, you could do a whirlwind. Instead of doing an earth turn, you could land it on bird with a bird flip. You could do it to, for example, lunar or lighthouse. You can get creative in that way to make this trick even more difficult than it already is. With that being said, there you have it, around Tunbridge Wells, a daily necessity to kendama practice. If you have not learned this yet, you know exactly what you need to practice now. So have fun learning, and we will see you in the next tutorial.
What up, everybody? Thanks for checking out that video. If you like what you just watched, make sure you go hit that subscribe button, and make sure you go punch that shop button and get yourself a new dama. We have tons of other videos for you to watch, so make sure you go check them out. See you next time.